Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Mardziah binti Aziz Jaafar and I'm 22 years old and I live in Ipoh, Perak. Before this, I'm studying in my diploma level in UiTM Tapah, which I'm taking course diploma in science mathematics, and right now in UiTM Perlis I'm taking degree in management mathematics. My first impressions when I'm first taking this subject in my first lessons with Miss Umi, I think first lesson I don't quite understand what I'm learning, so I just write what Miss Umi say because it's very difficult for me to understand since there are some words that I don't understand very much. Even if I already explained in English, but I still don't quite understand. But the next class lessons, Miss Umi already give us an assignment to make a research about what is red queen competition. So after that, there is the second lesson. I think I already grasped what I'm going to learn for the whole semester. It's going about the IT. How we going, me as a non-IT manager, how I'm going to improve my company. So that's my first impression of the first lesson. I mean the first week of me taking the lesson. But after right now, after 5 chapters already learned with Miss Umi, yes, it's quite harder for me to understand it back because every chapter have its own jargon words every chapter, so it's make me to take me some times for me to understand what the chapter is all about, and I need to read it all over again. What is the chapter need, and so I think that is the most difficult part about this subject because the jargon word, the words that we rarely use, and because of it and because of ODL also, it's make me difficult to understand. It's much better even I already read it, but through the assignment and through the summary, and Miss Umi also asked us to do every summary of every chapter, but not every chapter, but I think that it made me understand what is this chapter all about. Next is a summary of each chapter. First chapter is chapter 1. In chapter 1, there is a red queen competitions where the companies tries to surprise the rival company in terms of information technology. And then in chapter 1, we also learn about the IT portfolio, which have 3: IT infrastructure, IT apps and data. And there is also element of trifecta, which is digitization, infusions, and ubiquity. There is also confluence in the trifecta, which creating possibilities, terrifying and accelerating across industry. Next is chapter 2. In chapter 2, we have sound data and sound model. Sound data is a raw fact. There is also a sound reasoning in a business app that change the data to information, then to knowledge. Models are translated into software. There is also 3 lines that help us to see to get a new idea. The first line is the 5 forces, where the levels in industry that we need a telescope to zoom out to understand how IT is grows in the competitions for every company in the industry. Lens 2 is how to cut the costs and to increase the value added. The activities, there's few activities, which is first inbound logistic operations, outbound, marketing, and after sales service. Okay, for lens 3 is litmus test lens. The Microsoft zoom in on the individual IT asset, whether it can be a competitive advantage for the archival. So the company try to compete the archival. Next is chapter 3, which is IT architecture. Okay, there is how is the IT architecture that will never come back and became a strategy for competitive can be a future competitive strategy. Like for example, how Siri got smart, or Facebook costs more 100 times more than it costs. Okay, next, IT architecture is a universal translator. Okay, there is also a diagram between IT architecture and architecture. The differences, how it is flow, and then there is a consequences in IT architecture. For operationals, there is fitness of purpose, security, and maintainability, and for strategy, scalability and evolvability. Okay, in IT architecture, they involve of three functions, which is interaction functionality, app logic, and data storage. Also, there is three common app architecture, which is cloud architecture, client server architecture, and peer-to-peer architecture. Next is chapter 4. Based on my understanding, IT payoff can consist of 4 steps, namely implementations, adoption, business creation value, and payday. Okay, there is also an example that given. There is how Starbucks using an apps, and the waiters scan the barcode to pay for the drinks. Okay, for the business value IT, it can be divided by 2. This is short term and long term. For short term is operational matrices. Operational matrices is a way to get a financial benefit, and for long term, which is financial matrices, it can be divided by 2, which is backward and forwards. If backward looking, is how we are going to look for the previous project on how it's affected the firm, and the forward looking is how it can make a company improve in the future. Okay, lastly is chapter 5. In chapter 5, we are learning cost benefit analysis, which we are going to calculate which company are lower cost in investing in cost, so the investor are going to invest in that company. Okay, and why IT manager need justifications model, because is to convert the relationship between IT investment and payoff into logical or mathematical form. Okay, there are also something that needs to be considered before making a decision, where the investor will surely look into the cost benefit analysis, institution based model, break even point, and net present value, and real option approach. Okay, so what I'm going to expect from you of the next chapter is I hope you can make me understand more about this subject and the chapter and I wish you can explain to us every of the jargon words. Even I already read it through the Googles, but I think I need some companions, I need some supervisions from you. And I think assignment is really good for this subject. I mean not assignment, I think summary. If you're asking us for the summary, like you are asking me to give all summary chapter 1 until chapter 5. I think it make me more understand about each of the chapter. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening to me, and selamat hari raya.